Atlanta is known for having millionaires at every street corner, but did you know this is also a city where black billionaires have built houses so extravagant they look like they hired Hollywood as their contractor? We're talking private lakes, underground car elevators, marble flown in by helicopter, and estates that make Beverly Hills look underfunded. Let's begin this countdown, and trust me, the mansion at number 1 is an entirely different tax bracket of unbelievable. Number 10. Ludacris's 22-acre College Park Fortress. If you've ever wondered what happens when a Grammy-winning rapper decides to build a mansion that can survive a tornado, Ludacris's College Park estate is basically the answer. And the blueprint. Spread across 22 wooded acres, the compound began as a $4.8 million purchase back in 2003. But after a severe twister sliced through the area in 2008, Luda didn't just rebuild, he upgraded the place like a man who treats adversity as a renovation opportunity. Today, the mansion stands at 15,000 square feet, armored with ballistic glass, titanium storm shutters, and structural reinforcements that would make a doomsday prepper blush. Inside, the layout is surprisingly warm for such a fortified beast. 6 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms sit beneath 20-foot vaulted ceilings, with sunlight folding in through oversized panes that overlook the tree line. Luda's favorite spot? The Game Den, a cozy, vinyl-stacked hideout where he hosts arcade battles with his kids. Picture a Grammy winner yelling at a pinball machine. That's the daily rhythm here. But the best flexes sit quietly in the background. A car elevator lowers his Ferraris into an underground showroom like he's living in a music video with a Marvel-level budget. The infinity pool spills toward the treetops. The Peloton gym is modeled after a Fast and Furious set, and the temperature-controlled wine vault stores 500 bottles ready for whatever post-tour celebration comes next. Step outside, and you'll find an outdoor kitchen with a pizza oven that somehow ends up hosting crab boils, family dinners, and half the neighborhood. The lore around this place is equally entertaining. The solar grid covers 70% of the property's power, which Luda calls his green hustle. Album release parties spill out onto the lawns with food trucks lining the driveway, and movie nights in the private theater often end on the rooftop deck, stargazing with popcorn bowls the size of helmets. And if you think this is extravagant, wait until you see the next estate. A Buckhead palace so oversized, it looks like someone tried to recreate the Vatican with a celebrity budget. Number 9. Steve Harvey's $17 million Buckhead mega villa. Many people buy homes, but what Steve Harvey bought looks like a small European nation remodeled as if he was preparing for royalty. Sitting on 17 pristine acres in Buckhead, this 34,688 square foot riverside villa is the kind of residence that whispers wealth even before you reach the front door. Originally built and owned by Tyler Perry, Harvey acquired it after a major renovation in 2018. A project so intense that slabs of Italian Carrara marble were literally airlifted onto the property. And because Harvey doesn't do anything halfway, the steel frame beneath the mansion was reinforced to withstand an 8.0 earthquake, which is hilariously excessive for Atlanta, yet perfectly on brand. Walk inside and the drama continues. A chandelier-filled great room leads to 7 bedrooms and 14 bathrooms, wrapped in warm tones and old-world finishes. Harvey's personal sanctuary is the 2-story library, home to nearly 10,000 first-edition books. This is where he sits in a leather chair each morning, sipping espresso and crafting monologues the same way he crafts advice, slowly, confidently, and with just enough comedic bite. Now the flexes. The 70,000-gallon infinity pool has a painted bottom designed to mimic Caribbean shallows, complete with a grotto and hidden waterfall shower. The ballroom is lined with shimmering Versace silk walls, where Harvey has DJ'd his own family weddings. A 5,000-bottle wine cellar hosts curated tastings, and outside, a fully lit tennis court doubles as Harvey's personal stress management center. His grandkids have taken over the RC plane runway, buzzing tiny jets above the property like it's an amusement park. Then there's the underground level, a theater that pops gourmet popcorn during NFL Sundays, spa rooms with eucalyptus steam vents, and a cigar terrace overlooking the Chattahoochee. Harvey's go-to spot after long filming days, often mentoring up-and-coming comics over a quiet smoke. But even this palace can't prepare you for what comes next, because the next mansion belongs to a rapper who turned a former heavyweight champion's estate into a kingdom that looks designed for both world tours and livestock. Number 8. Rick Ross, Promised Land Estate. When Rick Ross bought his extravagant Georgia mansion, it was termed as the most over-the-top mansion bought by a celebrity in Metro Atlanta. Known as the Promised Land, his Fayetteville estate stretches across 235 acres and spans 54,000 square feet, making it one of the largest private homes in the entire United States. Ross bought it in 2014 for just $5.8 million, and people thought he got a great deal. What they didn't realize was that he was about to transform it into something that looks like a fusion of a Moroccan palace, a luxury resort, and a music mogul's dream playground. The estate holds 109 rooms, anchored by a rotunda with a fountain that could easily pass for a hotel lobby centerpiece. 12 bedrooms and 21 bathrooms spiral outward from the entrance, creating a layout that feels part royal compound, part rap royalty headquarters. Ross spends most of his downtime in his cigar lounge, a dark, plush sanctuary stocked with a humidity-controlled collection of more than 1,000 premium Cubans, where beats blast while he plots his next business move. But the luxury here isn't subtle, it's unapologetically loud. A glass-tunneled indoor-outdoor pool creates a dramatic setting for Ross's famous pool parties, complete with underwater speakers thumping bass you can feel in your ribcage. The 6-lane neon-lit bowling alley hosts crew tournaments, while the 120-car garage is basically a private museum showcasing Bugattis, Maybachs, and custom classics displayed like trophies. Outside, a 2.5-acre stocked lake provides daily fresh fish for Ross's legendary cookouts, and the on-site Bison Ranch supplies Wagyu-level meat grilled over a 20-foot pit. The mythos around Promised Land grows every year. The driveway has shut down filming for BMF, complete with Lamborghini chase scenes. The security team, composed of ex-Navy SEALs, patrols the estate like it's a presidential residence. Ross's daily routine? A swim in the lake at dawn, followed by studio sessions where gold chains swing over the mixing board like metronomes. And believe it or not, the next mansion finds a way to be even more cinematic, with a level of architectural drama that makes Promised Land look almost modest. 7 T.I.'s Riverside Mansion. T.I.'s Riverside estate is the kind of home that makes you understand the phrase, quiet money. Not because it's subtle, nothing about a 12,000 square foot, steel-reinforced palace perched above the Chattahoochee is subtle, but because it carries a calm confidence, the kind that comes from a man who has already out-hustled every challenge thrown at him. He bought this gem in 2020 for $3.27 million, then rebuilt its foundation on pilings and I-beams so it literally stands above floodlines like it's too important to get its shoes wet. Inside, the layout feels like a mix between a modern music retreat and a family estate with purpose. 6 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms wrap around a sun-washed salon overlooking the river, where T.I. famously hosts strategy sessions perched on bar stools, laptop open, kids running in and out, and the family yacht bobbing gently at the private dock below. It's a house built for movement, literal and entrepreneurial. The luxuries lean quirky in the best way. The pool's hot tub spills into the main basin like a tiny waterfall. The 2,000-bottle wine cellar moonlights as T.I.'s karaoke cave, where label meetings occasionally turn into sing-off battles. There's a vault door safe room designed to protect both the family and the master recordings, a detail that only a rapper who controls his catalog would prioritize. The entire property's 5 acres stay immaculate through an app-controlled smart sprinkler system that mists the lawn like it's being groomed for a magazine cover. Socially, the house stays busy. Music video shoots routinely take over the great room. Trap brunches spill onto the deck with chefs firing up skillets in real time. And T.I.'s signature river resets, quiet morning yacht rides where he plans his next move, have become part of the estate's lore. And if you think this sounds like luxury, wait until you see the penthouse above the Atlanta skyline where music royalty turned modern glass design into a floating concert hall. Number 6. Elton John's Buckhead penthouse. Elton John's tri-level, 5,000 square foot penthouse, valued at around $7.2 million, isn't so much a residence as it is a glass observatory suspended over the city. A private elevator opens directly into a clean sweep of modernism, translucent walls, mirrored accents, and a panoramic view that stretches across Atlanta like a painted skyline. The space flows through 3 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms, but the real star is the 2,000 square foot terrace, a sky deck where Elton often sits at his Steinway, letting melodies drift into the night like private concerts no one below realizes they're hearing. The penthouse was designed as both sanctuary and studio, a place where he could work, unwind, curate art, and occasionally throw a party that made the floors vibrate. Inside, the luxuries lean futuristic. The LED lighting system is synced to musical crescendos, shifting color and brightness, as if the walls themselves understand rhythm. The sauna gym overlooks the traffic below, giving Elton the rare joy of relaxing while the rest of Atlanta rushes home. Rotating art walls display pieces from his private collection, including Warhol loans that come and go like celebrity guests. The floating wet bar mixes martinis at eye level with the skyline. This penthouse has history too. Elton auctioned several iconic Rocket Man wardrobe pieces from here, and the entire space is soundproofed for impromptu performances. Because when you're Elton John, rehearsals don't need a schedule. Private farewell gatherings have been hosted on the Infinity Terrace, complete with falsettos echoing into the skyline. But even this level of elegance can't prepare you for the next entry, a compound built for someone so physically massive that even the floors had to be reinforced. Number 5. Shaquille O'Neal's Mecca properties. Buying mansions is one thing, but Shaq buys land, then builds ecosystems that can withstand a man who is, quite literally, larger than life. His 20,000 square foot flagship estate in Mecca is the anchor to a cluster of properties designed around one simple question. How do you build a normal house for a 7'1", 325-pound man? The answer: 10-foot doorways, reinforced flooring, and furniture with NBA-level durability. The residence opens with a foyer centered around a full NBA-spec hoop, because of course it does. The layout stretches across 8 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms, branching into hallways tall enough and wide enough to make Shaq look like a regular-sized human. Daily life here is exactly what you think it is. Spontaneous one-on-one games with nieces and nephews, jokes echoing down hallways, and constant movement around spaces designed for big personalities and even bigger strides. The luxury features lean wild. There's an indoor basketball court lit for midnight shoot-arounds, a 10,000-gallon aquarium filled with exotic fish and small sharks, and a 50-seat private theater where classic films play during family gatherings that feel like movie premieres. The 40-car garage includes hydraulic risers, giving Shaq's car collection the same treatment luxury dealerships give their showpieces. Shaq leans into fun, too. The king-sized beds are custom quilted to his measurements, and one room is dedicated entirely to his franchises, complete with a mini Dairy Queen setup for on-demand blizzards. During summer parties, the geothermal cooling system keeps the property breezy, even when 100 guests crowd the BBQ pit. And yet, the next mansion manages to top even this level of playfulness. With a profile so cinematic, it might just steal the entire countdown. Number 4. Tope Awotona's Buckhead Future Mansion. If most tech founders dream in code, Tope Awotona seems to dream in blueprints, the kind etched on glass panels, lit by motion sensors, and whispered into existence by German engineers who refuse to work on anything ordinary. His upcoming Buckhead estate isn't just a house. It's a statement about what happens when a Nigerian-born entrepreneur takes a scheduling app and accidentally turns it into a global $3 billion empire, then decides Atlanta deserves its own smart citadel. Rising over West Pace's Ferry Road, the 25,000 square foot estate was prefabricated in segments across Europe, then shipped to Atlanta like a tech billionaire's Lego set. These aren't normal walls. They're voice-responsive glass panels designed to tint, clear, or frost depending on whether Awotona wants sunlight, privacy, or a board meeting in Palo Alto energy. Everything sits on a steel spine engineered for durability, anticipating the type of Georgia storm that usually knocks out half the block. Inside, 7 bedrooms and 12 baths orbit a kinetic art atrium where suspended carbon fiber sculptures actually move with air currents. His VR-enabled boardroom sits right beside it. The room where he reportedly tests new Calendly workflows, demos product updates, and hosts investor meetings without a single physical attendee stepping foot on site. Then come the flashy layers. An AR-guided gym with a built-in pool lane that projects your pace on the water. A rooftop helipad designed for quick dashes to VC meetings. A 10-bay EV garage wired to charge a fleet of Teslas, Rivians, and whatever next-gen prototype a tech executive inevitably gets early access to. Even the rooftop hydroponic farm is intentional. Awotona apparently insisted on growing fresh tomatoes, peppers, and spices for Nigerian dishes served during investor dinners. The gossip? Thanks to rainwater recycling running through the infinity features, this might become Atlanta's most eco-forward tech estate. Guests say deals get signed faster here, maybe because the rooftop dinner setup hits different when stars are shining over Buckhead and an AI butler is pouring hibiscus tea. But if you think a tech founder's palace can bend reality, wait till you see what happens when a global superstar brings her diva energy to a Sandy Springs estate that practically glows with holiday lights. Number 3. Mariah Carey's Sandy Springs Dreamhouse. Mariah doesn't live in Atlanta full-time, but she still floats. And her Sandy Springs estate feels like the physical manifestation of that. A 13,200 square foot colonial jewel perched on 4 acres of manicured quiet, wrapped in so much acoustic engineering that even her highest whistle notes don't escape the property line. The mansion was originally built in the early 2000s, but when Mariah arrived, the first order of business was soundproofing, not the cheap stuff, but double-insulated studio-grade walls that keep the interior crisp enough for late-night vocal warm-ups. At the center is a luminous piano alcove with 7 bedrooms and 12 baths arranged almost like planets around it. It's the type of house where a sudden burst of vision of love echoing down the hallway isn't surprising. It's Tuesday. Her walk-in closet? Calling it a closet is disrespectful. This thing is 5,000 square feet, bigger than most Atlanta homes, curated like a high-end boutique. There are zones for gowns, zones for shoes, zones for tour archives, and one section that reportedly stays at a specific temperature to protect delicate fabrics. A double-island gourmet kitchen sits right beneath it all, perfect for Mariah's famously indulgent midnight mac and cheese ritual. The spa bathroom runs on eucalyptus steam, and the ballroom, yes, an actual chandeliered ballroom, doubles as a rehearsal space, hosting everything from choreography run-throughs to intimate holiday gatherings. And speaking of holidays, the estate transforms every winter. Mariah's team strings up 10,000 ornaments, turning the property into a festive universe, as one assistant described it. Heated marble floors keep her comfortable even during barefoot strolls after long studio sessions. Around the property, you'll spot security upgrades, quiet garden paths, and a terrace where she reportedly hums new melodies while watching the Georgia trees sway. But the real flex is how effortlessly it blends opulence with warmth, a rare combo in mega mansions. Now, don't get too cozy. Up next is a mansion that predates almost everyone on this list. A living artifact of Black American wealth built by a man who refused to accept society's script and wrote his own. Number 2. The Alonzo Herndon Mansion. Stepping into the Herndon Mansion feels less like entering a home and more like walking into Atlanta's economic origin story. Built in 1910 by Alonzo Herndon, a former enslaved man turned insurance magnate, this 15,000 square foot classical revival estate is what happens when generational triumph gets carved into marble. The facade hits you first. Towering ionic pillars, hand-carved from Georgia marble by master masons Herndon, personally hired. These columns don't just hold up the porch, they hold up an entire legacy. One built on the Atlanta Life Insurance Company, which Herndon grew into one of the most powerful Black-led businesses in American history. Inside, 6 bedrooms and 7 baths open from a grand hallway centered around a swan-shaped fountain. A symbol of elegance Herndon believed every Black family deserved to see themselves reflected in. Nearly every room features an untouched fireplace, 15 in total, still framed in original tile and woodwork, crackling with echoes of early 20th century gatherings. The dining room is a marvel, a gold leaf dome ceiling, delicately restored to its original 24-karat shimmer. The conservatory blooms with orchids, just as it did when Herndon imported rare varieties from overseas. The leather-bound library still feels like a negotiation room. You can almost hear pens scratching through policy contracts that changed Atlanta's economic landscape. Then there's the lore. A hidden barber chair tucked behind a wall panel, a tribute to Herndon's first trade before he became a tycoon. Generations of guests have sworn certain hallways feel occupied, as if the mansion's founders still attend the supper parties hosted in their honor. This house is not loud or flashy. It's dignified luxury, the kind that whispers its power rather than shouting it. But don't worry, our next and final mansion? It doesn't whisper, it roars. Number 1. Tyler Perry's Douglasville Kingdom. Make no mistake, this isn't a mansion, it's a sovereign territory. Tyler Perry's 1,200-acre Douglasville estate is so vast that if you drove across it at normal speed, you could listen to half an audiobook before reaching the front door. The 40,000-square-foot chateau took 3 years to build, using Perry's own film crew for parts of the construction. Georgia limestone blocks arrived by convoy. The copper-clad mansard roof shifts into a cinematic green patina over time, giving the place the vibe of a Black Versailles hidden in the woods. Inside, the 30-foot domed foyer is anchored by a crystal chandelier that reportedly sways during storms. Dramatic, yes, but fitting for a man who built an empire on plot twists. 8 bedrooms and 12 baths radiate from this core, each one wrapped in handcrafted millwork. Perry's favorite spot is a former chapel he converted into a candlelit private theater, where he screens movie dailies for up to 200 cast members. Picture a Hollywood premiere, except everyone's wearing slippers. The amenities read like studio sets. There's a 75-foot glowing lap pool for midnight swims, a private airstrip long enough for Gulf streams, a 20-horse stable for dawn rides, a man-made lake with a towering 40-foot waterfall that secretly powers hydro turbines, and over 1,000 smart lights that can shift the mansion into script-reading mode with a single command. But that's not all, because the security of this mansion has its own storyline. After a stalker scare in 2010, Perry added bulletproof glass, a hidden panic suite, and a helipad with direct access from the safe room. Energy. Geothermal wells cut his utility footprint by 40%, which he funnels into community programs and charity galas. And the estate's heart beats outdoors. Under a canopy of century-old oaks, Perry's sanctuary ritual plays out. Barbecues for 50, long debates about new scripts, and laughter rolling across the acreage until the sun stalls over the horizon. All in all, this mansion takes the cake as number 1 because it feels like the physical embodiment of Tyler Perry's career. Massive, improbable, defiant, and built entirely on his own terms. And this concludes our journey through the most luxurious Black billionaire mansions in Atlanta. Which one of these houses fascinated you the most? Let us know in the comments. And for more such interesting peeks into the lives of the rich, take a look at the channel